they don't have to sit and watch us do all of our sponsored business. So if you gentlemen would like to get up, introduce yourselves, and go ahead and tell us what you want us to know.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having us. My name is Chris Rattino. I'm the superintendent of Riverside Schools. It's good to be back here. It's been a while since we've come and talked with the townships. We are out on the road again. With me is Dr. Steve Thompson. He is Riverside's treasurer. I know we used to do these with Mr. Placco, and he would come and kind of present just finances. We wanted to span a little bit more about some of the history of the schools, or the vision of the schools, where we're going. Obviously, we'll talk finances, everybody does. We're in the same kind of boat. But kind of our purpose for being here is to, number one, update everyone in the room on the finances, and then also kind of our facilities plan. We hear a lot about our facilities and kind of where our future goes. So we are excited about our future and our facilities plan and where we're going, and then get a better understanding to gauge what we see and what the vision is for the Riverside District. It's been my third year with the district. They've been 3 great years. Really excited about where the future is taking us with our students and kind of what we're doing. So with that, I'm going to turn it off over real quick to Dr. Thompson to give a brief presentation of our financial outlook.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for allowing us to be here. And I'm new to the area, just moved here 3 weeks ago. And so this was my first jaunt from where I live in Concord and across Williams Road, which was probably be better in a little sports car instead of a big 4x4, but gorgeous. It's just breathtakingly beautiful. The river, just really impressive. So with that being said, we just want to give you just a brief understanding of where we are. But I wanted to ask a few questions, because we're school people. I'm a former school teacher, so I have to start by school, right? If your taxes go up, your valuation goes up, does the school receive more money? What do you think?
House Bill 920 makes it so everything stays the same.
Tells you a former board member. It's counterintuitive, but it's true. We do not receive any more money. So when tax bills go up, there are some people that actually their tax bill goes down. But what the county auditor does by law, if we have X number of mills that are effective, meaning that we pass way more mills than we actually charge the community for, the auditor charges the community for, the auditor adjusts the millage down so that we don't collect more. And that's House Bill 920. So where did that come from? For some of us that are a little older might remember 1976, the bicentennial, but the economy was in absolute shambles. Interest rate, our inflationary rate was at about 20%. So when inflation rises, what happens to the value of your property, at least on paper? Does it rise or fall? It actually rises. Now, whether you can sell it for that or not is another question, but on paper, it rises. So while the economy was in absolute shambles in 1976, schools were flush with cash. Schools had more money than they knew what to do with. Because at that time, when your property value rose, so did your tax bill, and so did school collections. So in 1976, many of you will remember, he was mayor of Cleveland, Voinovich, becomes a state rep, becomes a U.S. senator. He penned, along with some others, House Bill 920, which is the most impactful piece of legislation ever to impact public schools. And what it says is, when a levy passes, it's frozen forever, in perpetuity, that dollar amount collection forever. And it's codified in the state constitution as well. So the last time taxes, local taxes, have gone up for the collection of us, the school district, was 10 years ago. So I would just submit to you, as you start to look at these numbers, you might to kind of look at it from the lens of, if you were just graduated from high school or college and you were making $25 an hour, That might be pretty good when you're 22 years old, 20 years old. But what if you were making $25 an hour 2 years later, and 5 years later, and 8 years later, and 10 years later? You're going to struggle more and more and more over the course of time because of inflation. So we have no inflationary mechanism except to eat into our cash reserves or make reductions. So, so we have a couple of problems. Right now, financially, if anybody wants one of these, you can follow along if anybody wants one. I'm on, what is our financial outlook, is the one I'm on right below it. That's our last forecast that was approved in August. It'll get updated, but we're very, very close to this forecast. And if you look at the very bottom, that tells you how much cash reserves we actually have. The line above it is showing you what our expenditures are year over year. And you can see we're in red, we're in deficit spending now. We don't have a deficit overall, but we're in deficit spending. But you can see by 2029, we project to be in complete and total deficit. The state does not allow that. So what happens is we are in fiscal caution right now. When I submit the 5-year forecast in the fall, in August, we will move to fiscal watch. And then we are 2 years away from fiscal emergency and state takeover. We've made $1.6 million in cuts over the last 2 years on personnel. But the reality is when you're frozen, when our collections are frozen, we have contracts we have to pay our folks, and I think you would all agree with that. We pay the same inflationary impacts that are impacting us as citizens, impact us as a school district, only tenfold. Imagine, you know what the cost of diesel is now, filling our buses up. We have, what are we, 72 square miles, I believe, is our circumference of our district.
It's bigger than that. No.
62 square miles, so we're driving a lot of miles on our buses, the fuel, all the same electrical bills, all of those things that you experience at home, we experience, again, over thousands, hundreds of thousands of square feet in buildings. That's not our only significant challenge. Our other challenge is the fact that our high school is over 75 years old.
77 years old this summer.
You want to talk a little bit about the condition of the building?
So our high school is 77 years old. We just had the 75th anniversary actually last year, but it was kind of delayed. It was a half-year delayed. It's iconic as you drive through Riverside Drive. It's a beloved building, but it does experience some challenges that all aging buildings and infrastructure does occur. It needs a new roof. It is a rather long building, actually. It's a quarter-mile long if you include John R., because it does have the bridge and the connector between them. If you graduated from Riverside, depending on when you graduated, you may have had the media center there that connects them inside. You may have walked outside into John R. to get to the band room and other structures depending on the time you were there. However, that does exist. So the building itself is a quarter-mile long. It is a very difficult building to secure because of that length. We have a secure vestibule at one end of it, at the Riverside end of the main entrance that goes into the board exit. However, there's 30-some doors. Schools are different today. We actually do have to be very safe, and we want to take safety and security as a foremost measure that we have. In a quarter-mile long facility, even talking with the sheriffs, it is an immense challenge to kind of lock that down to make sure it's secure. We do have incidents that have occurred. We do our best to make sure that we are, first and foremost, is a relationship with students, that we work hard every day to make sure that we have. I see something, say something, that actually did occur, but again, we want to make sure that we're safe. The other things that are there, we have aging boilers, aging pipes, aging infrastructure, aging, even to the point of our windows are old and inefficient. We heat the building in the winter, that half the heat stays in the class, the other half goes out the windows, and heats the outside area. So there are challenges with it. However, we want to make sure that we stay true to the iconic nature of that building that's there, because that's important for us. But it gets more and more expensive, and we are really truly one significant catastrophe away from a financial disaster. If the boilers go, we don't necessarily have that money budgeted to do a complete boiler renovation project at that point. That's a challenge for us. Roof issues, significant roof issues are there. We just don't have that in the budget right now because that's a huge budget. As we have come back from these times, we've been very fiscally cautious along the way as we brought things back, and we've stretched our money out 10 years. As Dr. Thompson said, even the new developments that have occurred or even have occurring, those don't necessarily bring us new money because of House Bill 920. They do go down. We get a few dollars from an inside millage, which we get into school funding. It is an incredibly complex situation, but we don't get the money that everyone would expect that we get. In fact, the collective bill of everyone else from property tax does go down. Property tax is not perfect. We do need to fix it, especially in Ohio, and we do agree with that. But that just is the nature of the system that we have currently to use, and that's why we are where we are.
So that's a good segue into, and we really do want your feedback. Sincerely, we do. What do you do when you're 2 years away from state takeover? You have a building that has outlived its life expectancy. At any turn, we could get hit with a pretty significant repair, as Dr. Rotino mentioned. At the same time, Lake County is the epicenter of the anti-property tax movement, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it. That constitutes the majority of our funding. It's our revenue stream. So with that going on and the uncertainty of that, like I said, we cut $1.6 million, but next year we would need to cut $4 million out of our budget. That's about 40 staff members. Because we're 84% of our budget is what? People. We don't make anything. We don't make widgets. 84% of our budget is people. 16% of our budget are things that are very, very, very difficult to trim. How do you cut fuel? Can't cut fuel. How do we cut electricity? Very difficult to do. The fat has been trimmed. There really truly is no fat. So we're having this discussion. Well, how many mills would we need if we did a traditional property tax? What would we need? Well, we'd need 5 mills to operate, and 4 mills to operate, and 5 mills to build a building. A 9 mill levy. Don't have a crystal ball, but I don't like the odds of that.
I think I'm going to interrupt for just a second. The reason why we are where we are, it's again, the system is set up that way, but we were accelerated into this.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Into the system. We are cautious in how we plan. We plan everything out. You'll hear about a 4-year forecast or financial forecast or 5 years. We are looking down the road, and we don't necessarily look at the next day. Well, and then this happened actually to Leroy as well. Like in November, the commissioners called us all to a meeting to say that as part of the House bill, or the recent budget bill, the county commissioners were allowed to double the homestead and owner-occupied property tax and owner-occupied rollbacks, which in itself is great, and that's a good thing. And again, we need property tax relief. We absolutely understand that, and that is something that we need to do. But the other part that they said is, we're going to do it now in the states, and you can do this, but when they currently do it, the state backfills. And so over the tradition of 10 years, the burden of actually funding schools and funding entities have gone from, it was a little less than equal shares, but the state picked up a lot more share of it and sent money our way, and then local property tax, about 60%, about 60-40. We're currently looking and trending more towards 80% local, 20% state, if not less, depending on what we get. When they pulled this back and rolled this back too, it was an immediate, it started in January 1. And it immediately impacted us, and it also was attuned to, we work on the fiscal year, so it was an $800,000 immediate stretch. We're gonna end up deficit spending this year by approximately $800,000, give or take a few here and there. So we were right on, we were on pace, we were gonna start to make some of this, and then this got accelerated. Next year is gonna be $1.6 million hit to our general fund that came right out of it, taken away by the commissioners. Again, not that property tax relief isn't needed, it is. Other bills that have come through, some of this property tax relief came through with House Bill 186. The windfall as such that some districts have because of being on the 20 mil floor, Riverside did see some. So I'm not gonna say that we didn't incur some gain with the reevaluation. We did. It was a roughly, I wanna say, a couple $1 million.
That was a 1.7 million.
That is getting given back next year to property in a rebate. So you will get that back on your property tax bill next year as part of 186 because of the unprecedented reevaluation homes and incredible jump, the once in a lifetime type thing. So we've made changes to put that in place, and now all of a sudden any increases we get on that small inside millage was limited to 3%. We know we can expect it, we can plan that out. That hasn't been the case before. Other districts and local districts around are seeing even larger gains because they were kind of, I guess, playing the system a little bit. In Ohio, if you collect 20 mills and are on a floor and have emergency levies, those don't count for this thing called the 20 mil floor. So if you're trying to follow property tax and this whole property tax thing, you'll hear about this 20 mil floor. The state says you have to collect 20 mils. So every time you collect, that's the minimum that every district has to be able to provide is 20 mils of tax collectively. House bill, you may have so many mills voted in. I think Riverside itself has 75 or
Voted mills.
voted mills, we have
But
about
effective
75
mills were
voted
about
mills
21
in.
mills.
But House Bill 920 has brought it down to, we're about a little bit over 20 mills.
21 mills.
Yeah, 21 mills that we actually effectively collect on our taxes. So we are running as lean as we absolutely can for a district to make sure we're there.
So can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Because this is a lot of detail.
Sure.
For a trustee meeting.
I'm sorry.
I thought I heard you say that your assumption is that the commissioners are going to continue.
We are assuming that
We
they're.
already know they
Yes.
are.
So that's part of why this
It's
is
in
so
the
dire.
That
I
is
also
it.
note that even though you said your revenue stays the same, all of a sudden we went from 56 million to 53 million. What's
So
that?
the 3 million, 2.2 million of those dollars were carryover from the year before they were invoices that weren't paid out. So it was actually the previous year's encumbrances moved forward. So that gave us a look of like, basically that $2.2 million almost got counted twice. It was in the fiscal year 25 numbers and then got advanced to fiscal year 27. And then $1.7 million was inside millage and state funding.
And so what are you getting per pupil now?
From the state, it's, what's it, about 8?
Less than, little less than a little bit, just slightly more than $8,000. We're spending roughly, is it 17,000 and change roughly per student, which puts us the only school that is spending less per student than us is Madison.
Well, what do we get from the state I'm sorry.
Yes, that.
So that is, that's a couple $100. It's not nearly what the state's guaranteed. So it's incredible.
Okay, you said 8,000 and then you said a
No,
couple
it's-
hundred.
What is that? I don't have that exact number.
So you don't know what you're getting per pupil from the state?
state.
Right, because Fairport, when they went to open enrollment, they pulled a lot of students,
So
and they were making money.
So Fairport still does. So
They have
we are
300
on the state guarantee, which means that with the first school, we get a certain amount guaranteed every year of state aid. Fairport is not, so every student, so basically school funding is, the model that they would like to do is base it on a per student basis. So when Fairport went to that open enrollment, as they bring more students in, they built that new school based on much larger than they needed. So they can bring those students in and they get money for every student they bring in. That's revenue that they're earning from that. In our case, our revenue is set and flat from the state.
So we don't do open enrollment anymore?
We do not do open enrollment anymore because of that, because we don't benefit from bringing students in. In fact, it costs us more to educate.
Not if you get them from Painesville City, because the per pupil from Painesville City
It
is
doesn't.
way more than.
But it doesn't travel.
It used to travel,
It does not travel with.
doesn't
And
travel
why is
anymore.
Fairport making money off of it?
because it doesn't travel to us because we are on the guarantee. Painesville City and Fairport are not.
So you need to ship students out.
So if we shift students out, we do, but why would people move in the district? Because they come to the district, sometimes they move to the district for the school. A lot of times they do. We want our schools to be a place.
So do your revenue projections include all the new kids that are to be coming from these large subdivisions that are coming?
They are not started, and we are seeing actually a decline in enrollments. We are projecting a decline in enrollment.
You got 160 houses coming. There's going to be kids in some of
There
them.
are some of them, but overall, we are still declining as a general area. And we are not having as many students as in the general nation, especially in Northeast Ohio. So we will be under 4,000 students for the first time next year.
When I was contacted, I was told that the purpose of this meeting was to talk to us about some sort of a thing that you wanted to do that had to do with social services and stuff like that, but it looks to me like you're laying the groundwork to ask for money to build a building.
We are. So what we're trying to do is talk a lot about where our plan goes. And our plan is involving the next step in the future of the campus. So what our vision is making the campus a central hub for the Riverside District. So what we know is this district needs a central location for sports communities, like a local town center. Not necessarily, like Leroy's got this area here, which is wonderful, but we don't necessarily have a true downtown area or a center hub for the district. So we want to make a community center, a place that offers all kinds of services. We want the schools to be that central hub to provide all these access points. And we want the high school to be that. And that's our vision moving forward, is a renovation of the high school to really truly make it that community center. And I think that's the point we're trying to get to. We have a funding issue. We have a crisis of not only lack of funds, but also aging buildings. So our solution to that, I'll let Dr. Thompson kind of talk a little about what that solution looks like and why the financing structure is that. But having that structure gives us an opportunity to make these schools a true partnership. And we're looking at partnering with agencies like the Y. We've reached out to Cleveland Clinic for not only schooling, but then also adult education. Riverside just opened a CTE wing, $3.1 million.
Career technical education.
So
I'm sorry, say that again?
We just opened a career technical education wing. So it just opened up this January. Those are for trades, and to provide students career and skill-based and practical skills, work-based skills to enter the workforce.
Where is
We're
that
not
housed?
Auburn.
Where is that housed?
That is housed. It was an addition onto the back of the high school.
So you put an addition on the back of the high school, but we have Auburn Career Center for that. Why don't we do
So
that?
Auburn is full. So Auburn has more students than ever, and we're not trying to replace Auburn. We're trying to give our students skills that maybe their junior year, they don't know what they want to do. By the time they're seniors, they do, or they want to have an interest in these. So some of the programs we offer, Auburn offers a construction program. We have a one-year construction program that's a partner with Auburn, and Auburn's actually working with us to provide some satellite programs. We're looking into a manufacturing program with Auburn as well, to provide some satellite programs at Auburn, where when those programs fill up at Auburn, because Auburn's pulling from a number of different schools, our students may not get in the program they want. So you look at us, you look at Perry, Painesville City, all of these schools and Auburn have welding programs. We all certify welders. Welding, we know we need welders, we need certified welders. All of those schools have a 2-year welding lab. We have one as well. We certify them and send them out to the world. That is an important part where we can only have so many booths, so that's something we offer. We want to open that up also as night for our community programs as well. So we offer adult education in our welding lab. So that's part of our vision, is how do we make our schools, and how do we turn our schools into a hub for the community to come together. We know we have a lot of our students come in for sporting events. We know we have a lot of our students use our turf all the time for youth activities. We want to continue to build onto that. We want to continue to utilize and renovate our auditorium so that more and more people can come and use that on a regular basis for whatever they need for communities. We want our makerspace similar to have an opportunity where we have 3D printers, laser engravers, all those kind of things for people who have an interest to do some hobbying and crafting, to come and learn from our students and use those opportunities and use those things that are there.
So to clarify, this is going to cost $120 million. That's your plan.
So,
And how absolute is that figure? That it doesn't turn into the Concord Fire Department.
That's a very good point.
And that's what
Yeah.
I'm mostly concerned about. I imagine everybody here would be.
I would say that's a fair question, and I think we've done a lot of work into that, and part of what we've done is it's not a brand new building. It's a renovation of the current high school, an addition built onto it, and it is going to, the plan does have and does impact for 5% construction inflation overall, and it will be under that number, because it has to be.
Now, we're renovating the high school, right?
Not a new
Linda was
high
talking
school.
about grouping all the middle schools and everything.
It is
When she was talking about that was around 100 million.
That was-
So we're already up to just renovation of 100? I know Scott, official. And I'm not understanding all this.
Renovation, if you look on the chart, do you have some papers? You got them. The renovation is 59 million. A renovation of the high school, just the high school. John R. would get torn down. And then a new 7, 8, 9 wing is roughly $60 million. Now what's built into that, I've had a lot of experience in school construction, and I know exactly what you're talking about. In the budget is every year's 5% year over year inflationary increase in materials and construction costs, and there's a 10% contingency.
But that's a wonderful guess at that 5%. With today's world, who knows what could happen?
Well-
And we'd be really putting ourselves in jeopardy. Let's say it doubles, triples, quadruples, even more than that.
Then we'd have to scale back our plan. That's all we could do. We're not
So
going.
you have a backup plan?
In terms of, I think the backup plan is 10% contingency, 5% inflation, and though that's been pretty consistent recently. Now, could something catastrophic happen? Well, of course. If we have to know the answer to every question before you endeavor upon something, you will do nothing.
So you want to raise taxes, are you going to do bonds?
That would be,
Finance this?
so that's a great question. So what we're asking for is a 1% earned income tax. 1% earned income tax. That means seniors are not taxed. Retirement is not taxed. Investments for seniors are not taxed. That's what an earned income tax generates, or does for us. An earned income tax will generate, at the beginning, roughly $13.3 million a year. What we have forecasted is 2% year over year increase on that. That could be low in some years, it could be a little high in other years, but consistently that's what the financial experts are telling us we can expect. About half that money would be used to pay what's called a certificates of participation, or COPS, which is a legal way that school districts can take out money. You can indebt a school district up to 9% of the total property valuation. That's what the law is. So we take out a COPS for $120 million. We know what the COPS payments are. It works just like a mortgage or just like a traditional bond issue, except the dollars aren't coming from property tax, they're coming from income tax. And those would last for 35 years, just like a bond issue. And we know that we have to remain fiscally tight. We know that we have to plan for, just like you said, there could be some crazy contingencies. We've seen it before, right? Anybody's ever done construction knows.
1,500 home development, how does that affect all of
So
it?
that's a great question, because it
Yeah,
does. So when those homes come in, they're TIF'd, or they have some sort of TIF on them.
Tell them what a TIF is.
So a TIF is a tax,
So these homes, they sell these
So
lots,
the
they
school- so
own.
we don't-
Are we gonna get some of this money to the school system so we don't have to cover all, out of our pockets, all these new students and a new school coming in?
those earners who come in will pay that income tax immediately. The property tax they pay for 30 years or more goes to the local entity that put the TIF. Then we will get some, depending on the development, but for some of the ones in Concord, 75% of any new money, again, that's a small number, that comes back That all goes to
So we
Concord,
get
to
part of the
Fire
money out of the
Station 2.
sales
So
in
when
this
the
to go to
sales
the
come
school
in,
system.
as part of the holistic ad of that property and all of that, that money goes and your property taxes go down because of 920. Because the money we can collect. Well,
Pushing one hand, do it the
Well,
other. I know what that one.
okay, they should. I know how
Well, they do for some people.
For some people, they did. So when you look at the reevaluation, it was very interesting to see this year, because there were some who even lived in, when we looked up certain properties, there were some who saw an extreme, how they did the evaluation, I'm dying.
Okay, we have a
But,
trustee
yeah,
meeting.
I am sorry.
So I just want to get to, what are your plans, next steps? What can we do to participate?
So our plan next steps really are to engage, look into engage communities. What do you need from us as a school district, other than just to provide
Way
services
less
to
than
our
what you're
students?
proposing. That would be my position. This is outrageous. This is
So-
crazy for me personally.
That's fair. And I guess that's where we want to be more than just the schools. We want to actually
I
reach
want
out.
you to be schools and teach kids their skills. I don't need you to be everything else, because everything else we already have. We have senior centers, we have the YMCA. Sorry.
Well, we're not asking,
We're not asking you to.
we're not
How many
asking
square feet
taxpayers
do you want to build?
that, in 2022, the ask was $163 million
You
for a
saw
high
that
school.
went for you.
And I did, but we've gone from $163 million ask to $120 million ask at 1% and cover our operational needs as well. So,
Are the middle schools gonna stay where they're at?
Lamouth was,
Yeah, that's
that
not-
campus would be 712. Where the high school is now would be 712.
So that's gonna be eliminated.
No, Lamouth will be a 5-6 building.
Oh, is that what,
Yes.
okay, because
They're
I
not
was wondering, I mean, if
closing
it's gonna be
any buildings except tearing
eliminated,
down
that's a
the
nice
tunnel.
chunk of property over there.
There's a lot, so that's, we are fortunate to have property. And so we do have lands. We are limited to how we can sell those lands, but we have lands.
But I guess I would just ask
How
you
long is
this.
the period between phase 1 and phase 2, do you think is truly gonna happen?
Probably 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's a 5 to 6 years by time you, architectural drawings, land preparation, plus on the high school, you can't, we still gotta use it. So we can only work on it during the summers, Christmas breaks, those sorts of things. So it's more of a challenge, but it can be done. It was done in a previous district where I worked. So it's
So
the
is there gonna be a
model's there.
levy on the next election?
There'll be, the board will make that decision, obviously, but
Yeah.
there will be, you have to pass 2 resolutions to be on the ballot. The first resolution is a resolution of necessity, where that will be on the board agenda this Thursday. And then the fall, if that passes, then it's the will of the board to move forward. And
I'm just wondering if we're gonna have one of those sneaky election days.
no, it'll be
It
November.
better not.
There's nothing
I'll
sneaky
get an
about.
attorney on this
So,
one.
hang on.
That one was
So
ridiculous that they
you anticipate there's
did.
going to be something on the ballot this November?
This
About
November.
this?
Correct,
That would
Okay,
be our anticipation.
yes.
okay.
I was on the Facilities Commission 25 at least years ago, okay? And these are just renderings, I know,
Yes.
these drawings here, but you need to be very careful, someone needs to be very careful with the architects, because architects like to make a statement with their buildings. When we were doing that one, we met at the Auburn Road TV audio room or whatever, and they were gonna make a circle school. And I said, hold it right there. I said, you just added 33% to your cost. Everything in construction is straight line. Well, I'm looking at this building here, what the John R is gonna be, and you have a center courtyard. Yeah, they look nice, but I agree with Linda. Our education system in the United States is going down. We're not teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, okay? But they make it nice and cozy, and they have things that are supposed to help mental health and everything else. And I'm 70 years old, make your own mental health, okay? But
That's our generation.
it is, it's our generation. But you have this hole in the center, so now you just created two outside walls. You have raised walkways going between the buildings. Keep it simple, okay? The KISS method is still the best method in the world. So, and at that time, the schools were not in good shape. That was 25 years
No,
ago.
I do appreciate that. I think that's great feedback. I think the instance for us is the way that it is now, it is a long corridor and a very long stretch. To put things to that aspect and to keep it, that is what we attempt to do simple. I know the walkways are raised, and I think the ultimate would not show those raised walkways.
Right, but you have a hole in the center, so if you have.
The hole in the center is,
He's right.
the reason that you'll see that across architectural buildings, school or not school, two sides of a hallway. So if you're on the inside of that and there's no opening on the inside, you have no windows in those classrooms. That presents a challenge on several issues. Fire escape, active shooter, all of those things, no way to get out of an enclosed cinder block room. So in order
How are
to,
you gonna get out of the center? Now you're shooting ducks in a barrel.
because you can get out of the center and go across it to other doors.
Barrel, ducks in a barrel.
Okay, we need to wrap this up. Is there anything you want, final words?
I just want to thank you all. Thank you all for, the questions were great. We do appreciate that. We know that it's never easy when you say, hey, we need more, or we're asking for more. We are honestly trying to be the best fiscal stewards we can. We are trying to be as lean as we can. Like we said, we've got $1.6 million in the past 2 years alone. That's going to continue to compound. We are trying to continue to do some of that and keep schooling and provide the best education. I agree with all of you. Our job is to educate the students first and foremost. But if we have the spaces and we can open it up, and it's available to our community, we want to do that as well. So we want to do both. We want to do both well. I think the other part to it is absolutely to all of you said, there's a pride there. What we heard before is don't tear the high school down because we're proud of it. That model does keep that high school. It does include all the issues we have. It does include safety.
What are you gonna do with that slate roof?
And security. We will, that's an expensive fix, but it's something we have to do and it's something we have to look at. But again, that's beloved by this community and that has come back clearly in what we want in terms of how we can make this and how we can provide our students and our community the best possible solution that we can. So that's our goal in all of this, is to do as much as we can. We have always done more with less. We're going to continue to try to do that. That's something we are absolutely proud of what we do and provide our students. And school looks very different today than it did even when I was there, even 10 years ago, even more. And it's only going to get more and more challenging, I think is a safe way to say. We are preparing students for jobs that do not currently exist. And some of the jobs that you think exist now aren't going to exist in the next 2-3 years because of everything that is coming down the road. It's kind of scary to be in education at this time. So we need to continue to be evolving. We need to continue to make our students adaptable, ready for change, and ready for their future, not our past. And yet we need to honor that tradition and make sure we honor that tradition for the district. So that's what we try.
Thank you for
to do
joining
some of
us.
this.
I think
Thank
we've
you.
given you a great Leroy welcome.
Didn't expect any different. I appreciate it.
Leroy.
Truly appreciate it. That's-
Doctor, you said you've just been here 3 weeks.
I've been in the district for a year, but I've actually lived here for about 3 weeks.
You've always lived in the state of Ohio, not in another state?
No, sir, I had a military career, so I've been all over the world.
Okay, I
But-
just wondered if you had any, because this property tax is not only gonna affect you, it's gonna affect us tremendously.
Sure.
And so, that's what we have to wait and see what the state's gonna do. Are they gonna do an income tax? Somehow, everything has to get funded.
Somehow. I agree, and that's what makes it so challenging
Right.
for our position. And really, truly, I really would love to hear what can pass? We have to generate new revenue.
Right, but I
But-
don't know.
but I don't know
we're
the
not
best
gonna
way to
have
do that.
Answer until November, if this gets on the ballot, this property tax.
Well, we'll know in July.
I've heard this one's not going to get out
It probably won't be
in this July.
in this January or November, but, I mean, as long as they persist, I would assume it would be a year later. I think at some point or another, it's gonna be on the ballot, I would assume.
Well, you know.
Unless some legislation or some
The
change in
state did a
course.
lot to address the inequities and the problems that nobody's really paying much attention to, based on what I've heard. They passed stuff right at the end of last year
They did.
that really helps.
I do believe they did. I think that the state has done some nice things. Again, I'll go back to Ohio is the fourth, I think it's the fourth worst in terms of property tax, and one of the third lowest in income tax. They've definitely shifted the burden, they've shifted the burden onto local property tax, and property, local property owners. For us, and again, that's why we were looking at different methods. Because we hear you, we understand that, and looking at our data and where we get our revenue from, there's not a lot of business in our district. So even for us to do a property tax, it doesn't make sense, because we can't get it from, that money doesn't come from the businesses, and we don't earn that. So we're trying a different way, we're trying to be fair and equitable, and still meet all of our needs for all of our members, and for all of our community members. And that's our goal. Please, feedback is very useful. For all of this, and we, as we can tell, we welcome the candid conversations. We truly do. We are open to them. We're not perfect, and we will take the feedback. We'll come back anytime.
We appreciate
we
that you
love
came
that.
out tonight, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Not that I wanted to like continue, but I just have to say, as a parent in the district, I have one in high school, middle school, and elementary school. And so I guess, while I think that would be great for our kids, you guys do get the majority of our
We have-
property taxes.
About 60%.
And
Now they want your income too.
now, so, that's all great that you're gonna be able to offer for, adults and this and that. But what are our kids actually gonna get out of it? Because we already pay, I pay for all my kids to do sports. Every time that there isn't a levy passed, it's the threat of, you're not gonna have busing. And I have 3 drop-offs then and 3 pickups while still working. And, you know, you guys talk about the 2 million here to me, here, like 2 to 3 million. That's our entire budget here. So, seeing that you guys have, and I understand that it's a much greater scale, but I mean, we have all the roads in Leroy and the fire department and this and that. And so, you know, you guys come prepared with this, but what are we actually gonna get out of it? I mean, yeah, we could have a brand new building, but that doesn't change actual things inside of
The
teaching
teachers
and
and the
different things
administration that
that
educate
need to
children,
be-
not a building.
that need to be addressed. And so, I think that is, yeah. I would want to know what I'm actually gonna get, or how my children are actually going to benefit, and not be threatened with, well, pay to play is gonna go up, or you're gonna lose busing, or this and that. And so,
Well, I think.
it's just
Yeah.
for a thought, for when you guys are continuing this,
Our,
that's all great, but,
our conversation tonight didn't include runs. It didn't include any, hey, these are possibilities. We came with cuts that we have made internally already to be proactive.
sure.
We're gonna continue to do that. I agree with you wholeheartedly, it is teachers and administrators who make sure that kids get educated. It's also some of the facilities, air conditioning, safety and security, those types of things to continue, those are paramount to us, and those things continue to cost money. So what are your students gonna get? They're gonna get a top quality education, we're gonna continue working through on that. They're gonna learn in an environment that's safe. Parkside is very different than Lamouth. Parkside is incredibly different than Riverside High School and John Hopkins. It's a very different experience in both of those. Parkside actually is different than Buckeye or Melrose right now because of those things. It's a great thing to have. All of our students deserve a Parkside type experience, and that's what we're trying to provide for them, is that type of experience. We're not the exact same building, not the exact same model and all that, but those type of amenities is really truly what we're trying to do for everyone around it. I understand all of the other things that are there, and I appreciate that. Half of it is the building, the other half of it is keeping those high quality teachers, keeping those high quality administrators, keeping all of the people on all the support staff too. It's a wonderful one, but this is not going to be a, hey, if this doesn't pass, X, Y, and Z are happening. We aren't to that point right now. We are saying, we've heard the community loud and clear, we've heard what they have said, And we're listening to you as well. We understand this as well. It's not $160 million. It's a scaled back project. It's a different project from that. We are out there listening. We also hear, we hear all of it. We're trying to find the blend and the mix.
Sure.
That's our attempt. Nothing we bring, I fully understand, nothing we bring to this is going to become like, hey, this is great, take my money. No, that's not going to happen. I get all of that, and I understand that. We are working to fix the system as well, but this is our kind of our mix in the middle, and we appreciate it. And again, thank you for asking.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're more expensive.
They are, our tax.
But Lake Train, actually, if we went with Lake Train, they'd be more expensive than each other. It's crazy, but it's true.
Look no further than Fairport.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have any correspondence, so we will move on to approval of our meeting minutes. I move that we approve the meetings for the minutes for the April 21st meeting. Is there a second?
I know you guys are coming.
Hey,
Here's you're gonna be a bill.
write down.
Sorry.
Lee, go
Wait a
outside.
minute. I forgot I had that. All right, is there a second?
Linda Henny,
Aye.
Rich Van, Roy Gray.
Aye.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Thank you.
Under administrative, as you guys know, we had a couple properties that we had to go through a process to get them removed from the tax rolls once they became ours. And we were waiting for a final determination from the prosecutor about how much tax was going to be owed. And then I had to go then to the treasurer and get another payment plan for this second parcel. And so this is ready to go. I just need permission from you guys to sign it and turn it in, and then it'll start the process for,
And how much is that?
how much is the payment?
Yeah,
God, I don't know off the top of my head. I did this weeks ago. 141
okay.
a month.
Thank you.
We ended up owing like
Four. Oh, I thought it was half of
four
that.
or something.
I think it
Whatever we
was-
owe, it's 141 a month until it gets sorted out. And then
And
as
then
soon as we
we'll
get
get
it
it
back.
Right.
So, got that sorted out. So I would like to make a motion for your approval for me to sign this and have it sent on to the county auditor.
Second.
Linda Henny,
Aye.
Roy Gray,
Aye.
Rich Van Paul.
Yes. All right. I would like to let you know that by our next meeting on June 16th, I will be ready for a records commission meeting. We've talked about this a couple times already. That will be a separate meeting from our meeting, but we can do it in 5 minutes. And it's fiscal officer, the chairman, and to approve a new retention schedule, an updated one. I have to go through everything one more time with everybody, but I'm pretty well satisfied that we are where we want to be on that. And that also is a process where it goes to a couple places at the state. It'll probably take us 3 months to get it back. So I just want to let you know that I'm going to have that on the agenda for the 16th.
Okay.
Okay? I brought this, it came out of the Township Association magazine about places where you can get other ideas for our health insurance. And I know we talked about this a little bit, that we could at least get quotes or something.
Yeah, Sharon's done it several times.
And it's never any better.
I haven't found anything better, but it's
Okay.
always worth a try. You never know.
Do you want to try again?
Sure.
I'm not quite sure the time of the year. Will we have a review
Our
period?
open enrollment is normally in November.
Oh, so we have time. Okay.
So we would definitely have time. I know that I did speak with Mary Kay.
Very good.
And at the time, we had maybe 4 employees that took health insurance. And so she goes, yeah, I gave her everything that we got from the county and that plan. And she goes, yeah, I really can't do much better than that. Since I have talked to her, we have added 3 more. Not all full, not all family, and yeah, but it would definitely be worth a look. because I do know, I think that we are the only township that actually takes the county. They have all found better options other places.
So I'm gonna give this to you
Okay.
and ask you to
Yep,
also
I
contact
have that if you want.
the other townships to see what they're doing, so that we can see if we can do better or not. But I feel like we're paying an awful lot. So, okay, that's all I have under administrative.
If you guys would make a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Linda Burhenny,
Aye.
Rich Van Belt,
Aye.
Roy Gray.
Aye.
We've looked into Ohio checkbook and I have given Linda a lot of different information. I feel right now like we have a lot of other projects and different things that are happening that I would rather not tackle getting us into Ohio checkbook. I am not completely against it, I just think that it deserves more time than our office has to give, or to looking into it and how to make sure that it is proper and actually beneficial and giving information. So I would prefer to stay off of it for the moment, and I would like to just continue to do payment listings so that there is that transparency. I have no problem if you guys want to also add a revenue or a receipt ledger from each meeting, you know, from during that time frame. That is gonna give a much better up-to-date financial look, or telling what has been paid out and received than Ohio checkbook would be able to offer, in my opinion.
So you were gonna make that part of the minutes that would be published on the website,
Correct.
correct? And are
Yes.
you doing that?
Yes,
And we did it the last, once a month, the
Okay.
first meeting of the
We
month.
discussed this before, and
Oh, we
Ohio-
did.
Yeah.
We
Ohio
did.
checkbooks a year back,
correct.
Yeah.
where this, what we're doing now would be.
Current.
Every month.
Yes.
current.
Every
We'd
month.
all be
Now, we
30
did-
days behind.
You guys did make a motion that it would just be the payment listing. If you guys would like to add, that we can print out a receipt ledger, or, you know, I have no problem in doing that as well. That would give both sides of it. That is up to you guys, but I feel like that is gonna give more information and transparency than Ohio checkbook
Let's do
would
that, some
offer.
more transparency, is that all right with you guys?
I didn't
Have
know.
her also put out the receipts as well as the expenditures monthly through the
Right.
minutes.
Yeah, let everyone see what we're doing.
Okay, I don't think we need a motion for that.
Okay,
Okay. I just wanted to wrap that up.
sure. No, no
To get
problem.
to a conclusion. You're up, chief.
All right, so
Yay, you're letting pass. Yay!
I did pass. Thank everyone for that. So for the year, we have 240 calls. I know it says February, I missed that. For the month of April, we had 52 calls. We did 10 fire, 38 EMS, 1 hazardous condition, and 3 service calls. I have an application up there to be approved for Kate Markle. Kate's a very new firefighter EMT, so it'll be a process to get him to count, but I think that'll be a good fit for our department. We'll have here tonight.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, he doesn't have the bad habits yet, so.
Yeah, he's a dispatcher for community care, and he's gonna be there. Start
We
here.
can train him.
Okay. Do you want to bring a motion?
I usually do it, well, I can do it now,
Yeah.
but he's not, I don't think he's through.
Go ahead. Do you want to wait till the end for him to make the motion?
Yeah, whatever you can do.
Okay.
So, for old business, we want to thank the community for their continued support. We were able to pass the levy on May 5th. We'd also like to thank the department members that helped out promote the levy on door to door. That was a big help. We gained, so if you look at it, we gained 160, technically 168 votes because we turned no votes to yes, plus the other votes. So, it was an improvement, but that should be a big help. Hopefully it'll carry us out for the next 8 years. And we'd also like to thank everyone who attended the pancake breakfast. The other one next
Those
year.
pancakes were really good.
You're just Sam's Club.
And the sausage was really good
Don't
too.
say that, say you
Dan, I agree.
I was there the night before, making all my,
From scratch.
scratch, with love. That's a love.
You wanna go ahead?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we hire Katie Merkel as a part-time firefighter, part-time probation.
I'll second.
Linda Berhenny,
Aye.
Rich Van Pelt, Roy Gray.
Aye.
All right. Roads?
The road department roof, that's something I think you put on there, we gotta take a look at it, get some estimates on that roof and also on
This road.
this roof.
Which is the higher priority? Okay.
This,
This one?
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
All right, I have a quote for this one. I think you said you were gonna get a
Yeah,
quote
I can
also?
get a couple quotes too.
Okay.
So let's get quotes on the, let's get new quotes on this roof.
What do you intend to do?
Um,
What would you prefer to do with this one?
Probably should, I mean, we can look at metal.
Oh, my God.
I think you're gonna be a lot higher in price, but you're probably looking at shingle again.
They might be flipping right now. Said they might be flipping right now.
It might with the price of oil, that's possible. We can look at both.
I wonder if the quote changes because of that.
Oh, yeah, your quote will change because.
Okay, well, I haven't got that much in facilities, so
We're in better
I better, yeah, I better take it away from you, from the building budget, right?
I have to get a hold of the state yet on the roundabout where the broken concrete is. I had forgotten about that, so I have it written down here. The guys have been putting up the flags and everything. Proctor Road, we're about 75% done with the tearing out. But they had the weather last week and then had to drop back this week and do the flags, get the cemetery ready, all for Memorial Day, which is next Monday, 6 days away, not 2 weeks away. So we're looking at that. And the people who bought the middle lot over here, they put a request in about putting their driveway on Selznick Drive, which is not a dedicated road. I see you shaking your head. I talked to Dave Radacci, and he said we are able to do that. It does not have to be a dedicated road, but we would have to each give easements. We would have to give an easement to them, and they would have to give an easement to
I'll
us.
have to talk to Dave and recheck that because our ordinances specifically say you can't have a driveway by easement.
I didn't hear
Our
what
ordinances, our resolutions say you specifically can't have a driveway by easement.
you said. Okay.
So I'd have to check with that and talk to Dave. I haven't heard anything from anybody asking about that.
Which isn't to say they can't get a variance.
Correct, correct. But it's not, it's cut and dry, it's okay.
Okay, can you?
I'll talk with Dave
Okay.
on Thursday.
And then, do you have contact information for that person?
Yes, we have
So we-
contact information for that person, and I will get a hold of them that we're looking into it. I know Dave did say that it would have to be resurveyed for the easements, and he gave me the name of the surveyor who did that property. He said that should be a very simple drawing for them because they just did it rather than bringing in someone new who will then have to go and resurvey it and everything else.
So, I don't feel comfortable asking the prosecutor to draft those easement documents until we feel like we have
we're-
enough.
Yeah, I'm not even sure we're gonna be, we do that. I'm not sure we're gonna even do that.
Oh, to give
Right.
an easement?
Yeah.
No, we're steps away from the
Right.
prosecutor.
And then that will take some time to get the documents for that. But if we do we'll give you what you give us on the road. We'll see how that goes.
Yep. OPWC, that has to be in by Friday. And Rick and Sarah and I and Richie have been working on that. Richie Jr., because he had done it before. And so we are looking to apply for $900,000 which would give us 4,200 feet of Taylor Road. And Taylor Road is 11,500 total. So we basically get from the hill to the second curve where it starts coming to the south. Total reconstruction because there's no base there. We almost lost the road right there in between the two curves this year. It was mud pumping up. So that would not, we have to put it in now. It goes through all the committees and everything, and we would not know for sure until next July. By the
Not
time-
this July.
Not this July, July of
Takes a while.
27, and then it would be worked on then. And in the meantime, we have to keep it going.
So what did you do to it? I know you've been working on it.
We are did the same thing there that we are doing on Proctor, and we have to do on a few other ones.
Where you dig deep and put in the gravel?
Dig deep, dig all the muck out, get down to solid ground, put in the fabric, thank you. And then the big stone, and then the small stone, and then once, like on Proctor, once that is done and it has been driven on for a few months and packed in, once we get to the heat of the summer, we're gonna pave that.
Same with Jennings? You did a repair there too,
Jennings,
right?
we did a repair there, that is already, the state just allowed that, oh, and that is good news, because a new bidder was involved, through the county, and, the numbers came in, with what we were able to give towards that project, we were gonna get 715 feet. The new bidder, evidently wanted to get his foot in the door, and it's Geauga Highway, and we are gonna be able to get about 900 feet. So we picked up almost 200 feet,
Yay.
doing the same thing, total reconstruction. So.
What
that's
will the
where we're at.
timing be on that?
I don't have that yet, I don't
Okay.
have the schedule. The contract was just awarded 10 days ago. We haven't even had our first, our bid meeting, our pre-construction meeting yet. So that's where we're at on that. And if anyone's out there on, watching this, or anyone here, I keep giving Rick more jobs, all right? And he is,
He hasn't heard you yet?
he hasn't heard me yet, but he's swimming up to his eyeballs. So if anyone has a complaint, all right, don't take it to Rick. My number is 440-547-9109, all right? And I just had a customer or a constituent call from Abbey Road. I returned the call within 48 hours. I'll get back to you, okay? If I happen to forget, shoot me a text. I keep giving him more and more, and he takes it on, but he's swimming. Okay? I'm glad to talk to you.
An idea for the roundabout that I had, that I actually told Rick and Christie about today. When I saw the roundabout curb on the agenda, Susan Lewis, the lawnmower had asked for an area to be able to get her mower up into the roundabout before, because she couldn't get her mower up there. She brings like ramps to put on. Do you remember this, Rich? I just didn't know if, instead of repairing that section, could they make it a little ramp to get a mower up there instead of it being a curb? That might be an easier fix.
They don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, especially, yeah, since we are mowing the state's roundabout.
Right.
But that had just been something that she asked us in the past.
All right,
So-
I will check with her and see what size mower she has, because that would make the ramp size.
Yeah, didn't think about that, but yes. I just didn't know if that would be an easier repair than just use that same section that's already taken out and see if that works.
Thank you.
Cemeteries?
Well, I thank these hardworking service guys for cleaning up the cemetery land already. Still a few flowers to go in maybe.
Susan's taking care of the flowers.
And I guess about it, but then, Jen, you have anything? I know there's a few
Flags are
more,
being put up for
photos.
Memorial Day, Friday, maybe Saturday, depending on weather. BFW is doing that as always, so thank you to them.
They will have a ceremony at 11 o'clock Memorial Day. I've been to that from time to time over the years, and it's always really nice. Always makes me cry. So, if you feel like crying, come on over.
Like I've said before, the restoration people are due to come in this summer, but I haven't gotten the time yet, and I hope they do it better than last year. They called me and said, "We're here." Like, great.
Surprise. All right, thank you. Parks and facilities. I'm going to do parks first so I don't forget. We're going to have Township Day on June 27th from 3 until 10. There's going to be a parade, a car cruise, a band, food trucks, the rocket ship car, which will give free rides, and fireworks. So yay. We are looking for donations of gift cards or baskets for the raffle. And how do you want them to contact you guys?
Call me, call somebody. who
Call
has my
Brandy,
number,
call me.
Call you.
I'll
I mean,
hook you up.
if men, they can drop it off to Lexi.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay, yep.
anyway.
So that's coming right up, and I'm sure a good time will be had by all. But we should be praying for the weather, that it doesn't rain. I'll start now.
Oh, the pavilion's ready to go.
That's right.
How is it doing?
Yay.
This-
Very nice.
It's done?
It
Yeah,
looks
it's
awesome.
done. He's putting topsoil around the edges, and then he's gonna, where they came in and out, he's gonna topsoil that, and then I'll get it seeded and strawed. That'll be ready.
It looks
I
really
guess I'll
good.
write the check.
Yeah, you get to it.
Well, shoot.
I'll just have this.
So, I'm so glad we were able to get that done, because that was really bad. I'm gonna go out and look at it when we're done here, if it's not
Good
raining
job.
yet.
Thanks.
Right. How long before we put the picnic tables back?
You can put it back now. Yeah, he said you can drive on it in 2
Oh,
days. He saw cut it. He saw cut it today.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could put them back now.
Or in a few days. Just so long as they're back by the 27th. All right, I have today a request for quotes for tuck pointing of some of our buildings that need a little bit of zhuzhing. And so I'm going to make a motion that we put forth a request for quotes for tuck pointing and repairing the concession stand, the fire station. I brought a guy in and Vicki was with us, and the town hall. I was kind of concerned about the town hall, and so was the guy, because he said that the foundation was kind of leaning a little bit, but he was okay with just, I mean, he
It's not
thought
really
it was,
leaning, it's bowed. It's an old building, nothing was straight.
and we don't care. Okay,
It's solid.
so those 3 buildings. And so I make a motion that we put out this request for quotes. Quotes should be received by June 9th so that we can select a contractor at our next meeting on June 16th. Work to be completed by September 1st. I'll be the contact person for that. And we reserve the right to accept or reject any or all of the quotes. And special thanks to Sarah for helping me get this into the same format as we've been doing with our other quotes. So, is there a second?
I second.
Did you both second?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Christie can't.
I picked one.
Linda Moretti,
Aye.
Rich Van Pelt,
Aye.
Roy Gray.
Aye.
We did receive a request from NOPEC if they could come. I don't know if they're looking for a booth or exactly what they're looking for. They would just want to come and be a presence here for our Township Day get-together, to be available just to give information to the public if they have questions about what NOPEC does. And I don't have an objection to it. I'm just, are you guys okay with that? Did they contact you?
They contacted me.
They
Yeah.
contacted you. So
Yeah.
you're the one who can then get back to them and say, yeah, the board says it's
Absolutely,
fine.
yes, I can.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
Thank you.
Christie is normally our NOTEC
Okay,
contact person,
perfect.
so.
Okay, I know, Roy, that we talked quite a bit about the condition of the floor in here and about stripping and waxing it, and I just didn't, it's been 5 months now, and it's summer. Do we think this is something we can do this summer?
I had a conversation with Josh McBride, who is a fireman, and he has done it before. He's going to get us a price on what it would cost to do this.
Okay,
And I mean, it should be cheap enough, we don't have to put it out for bid.
Oh,
Okay.
no. Yeah, I used to have a guy, but he,
we all keep getting older, huh, Rich?
no, I just didn't do it anymore.
Okay, so is that gonna be soon? Is there something we need to do?
Yeah. I haven't heard from him, I will get a hold of Josh again.
Okay,
He'll be here Friday,
I will circle back.
or Thursday, sorry, Thursday.
Roy,
All right.
before they set the date to have the floors done, will you know, like, how many days? The last time we had it done, the community center was closed for about a week and a half.
What?
Yes, by the
Yeah.
time it was stripped and waxed and given days in between, I just would like to coordinate that with the 4-H groups and other groups that depend on this room for their meetings.
All right.
You know, AA, just so we can coordinate it with the groups and tell them from this period of time, there will be no meetings.
All right, so we need a date and an amount of time.
That the room will be, because the room's closed, the bathrooms were closed,
Oh, you have AA, so that's on Mondays, right?
that's on
So,
Monday, so we just
yeah,
have to
2
give them
We have
enough
to give them
time.
enough time.
We just give them enough time to.
Well, you could do it from start
relocate.
Tuesday, it should be done by the end of.
So every Monday they have AA?
Correct. Last time, I was just gonna say, last time they were willing to, I think we did it in the summer last time, and they were willing, we had them out in the pavilion.
Which is now really nice.
So,
Okay.
I know, but got baseball going and everything else.
Right.
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 Okay.
Okay? Why not? All right, zoning.
Zoning, we had 2 new house permits, one at 7149 Brakeman and one at 7148 Niffen. We've had 2 accessory building permits, one at 7765 Jennings, one at 8250 Callow, 2 fence permits, 1 addition to a dwelling, 1 home occupation type 2 renewal. We had a BZA hearing on May 26th for 13574 Carter Road for a variance for a front setback request on an accessory structure. So it's been pretty busy.
We're keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, the other big thing is we need to set a public hearing at our June meeting for the work that's been being done by the zoning commission for quite a while. And that stuff's been sent out to you guys, all the different proposed changes that there will be. And we'll basically convene the hearing, we'll talk about each of the items, we will close the hearing, and then we will take action on each individual thing. And that the clock is ticking on it because they had theirs, so then we gotta have ours. So that, we will be doing it that night, probably first thing, June 16th. That works for you guys? Yes. Okay, and if you have questions about anything, Sharon will be happy to fill you in. I'm sure Noel as well. I can help you, but it's the commission that did that work, so. All right? So, I'm sorry?
The commission has been very busy on that.
Yes. I move that we set a public hearing for the proposed changes that have been approved by the zoning commission at our June 16th meeting. Is there a second?
Yes, what time?
What's that?
What time?
What time?
Our meeting is at 6,
Yes.
so
Let's
if
do it first.
if
6:05.
you can do that.
You want to do it first, or you?
Well, normally we just take the time. That's all.
Okay.
Do it earlier, like 5 o'clock or something, or?
You don't need that much
Everybody's
time.
used to 6, so.
Okay.
Theoretically, you should have reviewed and know how you feel about it. You have had your questions answered, and you just,
And then that's just if the public.
if the public has anything they want to say, they'll be heard.
All right.
Okay, so let's make it at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then our ordinary meeting can just follow.
Okay.
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Okay.
Yep.
All
So
right.
Rich, you're seconding it with that time? Is that what you said? Okay. Linda Verhetti.
Aye.
Rich Van Pelt.
Aye.
Roy Gray.
Aye.
Old business, have you got anything? Any more new business? Items for further discussion. I just wanted the gentleman to know that I did follow up with your contact that you gave me for the runoff for the CEI facility. And I talked with him, and what he told me was that it has been passed to Ohio EPA. That's what I was told, for the runoff for CEI.
So I'm sorry, I missed that.
You brought up
I
that
know,
concern, you gave me that contact information, I contacted them and I was told,
You talked to Bert first.
yes, it
Okay.
has been passed to Ohio EPA and that's where it sits right now.
Oh, I know that. I thought I heard you say
I
something
just
else.
want you to know that I did
I
follow
missed
up
it.
on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, with them, it could take a while before we hear back.
I'm sure.
But what was disappointing was the pesticide division and how lax they were. And if you go to the hundreds of meetings that I've been to, spent a lot of money, and
Yeah, I
you
drove
see what
over
they've
there.
done to other people, but we have this situation, and it's like, they did nothing.
Yes, I did look at it and I saw why you were concerned, so. Okay, the seal coating for the walkway out here, it's been frustrating because of the weather. I talked to the contractor yesterday, and he assured me that he was gonna try to do it this week if possible, but not this week, but next week. And then we'll see what happens, because again, the weather's gonna be wonky later in the week, so we'll just see. But I keep following up, and I keep being asked by the county, and I keep saying, I'm doing the best I can, I'm being as annoying as I can be to try and get this done.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off before. Is there going to be a time period that people cannot go on it because of the amount of people that we have on the fields for baseball Monday through Thursday?
I'm going to assume that they will come and it'll be done before the evening, so that it'll have time to dry up and whatever.
I don't know if it
It's
can go
usually
that
24
fast.
hours people can walk in it.
I'm sorry?
Usually 24 hours people can walk in it.
Yeah, I would assume
I think it's scheduled to be done on the Friday then.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell them.
And then they'll have that weekend, because there's really no,
Okay.
I don't think we can
They
keep all
should be able to
people
give us
off.
a time frame, but I believe it's 24 hours for walking in.
I don't think we'd be able to keep all of the people off, and we don't want it ruined.
It'll have dusty footprints on it in no time.
Exactly.
Okay, I will follow up on that. All right, anything from the audience? Thank you so much for being with us this evening, and especially when we had the school people here. I thought that was a very interesting presentation that they gave us. Our next meeting is June 16th. We are going to go into executive session, and as far as I know, we're not going to have any action coming out of it, or are we?
Is the thing that you brought, does that have to be voted on before we sign it, if they agree?
Yes.
Okay, there will possibly be action after
Yeah.
it's done.
We can go into the office if you want, we can go in there, and then if anyone wants to stay.
If I could say something to everybody, don't trust this school board. The head of the snake is terrible, and these vacuum cleaner salesmen, don't trust.
It's 8:05 and we are back from executive session. I have one action. I move that we authorize the township to resolve an issue under the charge with the EEOC and to authorize the board chairman to sign the settlement agreement. Is there a second?
Linda Burhenny,
Aye.
Rich Van Pelt, Roy Gray.
Motion carries.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Linda Burhenny, Rich Van Pelt, Roy Gray. No, yes,
Yes.
sorry, I was